So I do want to take a second and show you the inside of a flip. I want to show you what a traditional flip looks like so you have an idea of what you're about to get into. So when you're talking about a flip, this is a flip, all right? It's not, it needed a little work. It's not, it needs paint and, it needs this and that. You may be looking at a Handyman Special, but you're not looking at a flip, all right? Now, if you're willing to go this deep into something, if you're willing to put the time and the investment that goes into rehabilitating a property, then yeah, you may be looking at a flip, and that may be a solid option for you. But keep in mind that this isn't the same thing as just a small investment property. So that's the biggest thing I want to cover is that I hear a lot of people use the term flip, and what they're talking about is not a flip. And they're like redoing the plumbing completely, moving the plumbing out to make this floor plan make more sense. This was the kitchen. It's going to be the kitchen. And if you're not willing to go, into it, if you're not looking to put the time and the energy and everything that goes into this, the money that goes into this, you're probably not looking for a flip. You're probably not looking at a flip. Again, that doesn't mean there's not an undervalued property out there for you. It doesn't mean that there's not a property out there that you can get under market value, live in it, put some time and energy into it, sweat equity, as they say. I hate that term. But it's not to say that there's not a property below market value that you can improve upon and make a return for yourself. But it's probably not a flip. All right, so this is supposed to be my February video. It's March. I'm late. February, however, is the month of love and Valentine's, and so I wanted to do a video on what realtors love, which is flips. So I want to cover what is a flip, why do realtors love them, and should you do a flip? So let's start with the obvious one. What is a flip? So a flip it's a short-term rehabilitation on a distressed or abandoned home purchased under market value, repaired and sold for a profit. If that wasn't straightforward, it's buying a home that is in need of repair, need of rehabilitation. You buy it relatively cheap. You buy it less than market value. You have to take into consideration the cost of repair and rehabilitation and closing costs. Don't ever forget closing costs. And then you sell it for a profit. That's pretty much it. If you're buying to hold it and rent it, if you're buying it, to hold on for a year and make it a long-term investment, that's an investment property. That's not a flip. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's still not a flip. Investment properties are usually rented out, and it's something that you spend a lot more time on. Flip is meant to be quick, hence the term flip. You can't do a flip slowly. You fall. A Handyman Special is another one I hear a lot. A Handyman Special is also not a flip. A Handyman Special is typically a property that is it's marketed undervalued because it needs repair, but it's marketed undervalued roughly just the cost of the repair. This is great if you're looking to buy something, if you're looking to get a home under market value and you're going to do the repairs yourself while you're living in it, great deal. It's still not a flip. This is something you're going to be living in. If you're living in it for a long term, if this is like your next home, it's not a flip. You don't hold on to a flip. Buy it, fix it, flip it, sell it for profit. It does have to be well under market value. It has to be under the repair cost, and you have to consider what the profit is because you may be on a thin margin, so you have to consider what those profit is, and the closing costs. It's important to remember the closing costs. It's something that often gets lost in the shuffle, and closing costs can get very expensive, because you're talking about two deals. You're buying the property and you're selling the property. That's two sets of closing costs. Typically, the seller covers the majority, the lion's share of the closing costs. So on the buy, it's not going to be that bad, but you're still going to have your own closing costs. And then on the sell, you're going to have higher closing costs. So keep that in mind. Keep that in your functions there, your profit line. Talk to your realtor; they can lay all those out for you within reason. We can't say exactly what the closing costs are going to be. Only your lender really can, but we can help you understand what it should be. That's a flip. So why do we love flips? If done well, you have a very happy client, and you'll be securing 2 closings, 2 commissions, and a return client. And those are great things that realtors are always striving for. You also have a property that is not being lived in, which makes it far easier to show it. It's very ready for showings. Either it's furnished or not, but it's still ready for showings. It's all spruced up, new floors, new cabinets, new roof in most cases, new appliances. All great selling features that make a very easy listing, very easy showing. And an eager seller, he does not want to hold this property. So when an offer comes in that's reasonable, he's going to want to jump on that. When something comes in at value, he knows what his profit lines are. He knows why he came in at the price he came in at. So he's ready to close. He's not looking for a specific buyer. He's not looking for the person who's going to really appreciate the neighborhood or the amenities. No, he's looking for a buyer. And again, having somebody who is that willing and that eager to sell, fantastic for a realtor. Fantastic from our perspective. So should you do a flip? That is a much more complicated question. First, you're going to have to understand the market value in your area, and you're going to want to be in a seller's market, not a buyer's market, because you're buying undervalued, you're buying low. So the buyer's market side of it, not really helping you too much. Seller, you're going to eventually be selling this house at market value, so you're going to want it to be a hot market, seller's market. You can usually move a flip in any market. It's just obviously better in a seller's market. That's going to put more money in your pocket. Typically, you're either going to want to be able to live in the place during the rehabilitation so that you don't have rent, you don't have a mortgage payment. Those are things that you can factor into your profit line, or you're going to be wanting doing the work yourself. So if you don't have a wife, don't have kids, don't have a husband, whatever the case may be, and you're just starting out, whatever, you can live in the flip, you can save those payments. That's saving you thousands of dollars a month. That factors into that bottom line. If you can't live in it, then you definitely need to be doing the work yourself. If you can't do the work yourself, you're going to be paying somebody else. There's going to be profit factored into that. It's going to make it a lot thinner margins and a lot harder to make that profit. Now, there are what are called lipstick flips. Properties that are under market value that just need a touch up here and there, fresh coat of paint, cosmetic work, lipstick. They can be profitable, but they're a much lower return than what you're looking at on a full flip. You're going to find that lenders do not like flips at all, ever. Profit projections and returns aside, the safest flip in the world, the most solid investment, traditional lenders still do not want to touch them. You'll need either your own cash, you're going to need a cash backer, or hard money lender. Hard money lenders are accurately named. They back an offer with hard cash, and they're a lot harder to get. But if you can come up with the funds, if you have someone who can back it, or you've got money that you can put into it, set your prices reasonably, and get with a realtor who knows, what the market is and what house values are, because you're going to need to find a house that's under that value. You're going to need to find a house that is, abandoned or distressed, or both. You're going to need to walk the property with somebody, hopefully yourself, but somebody who knows what's going to have to go into repairing this home, what that cost is going to be. If you walk into the home and go, oh yeah, it needs a lot of work, what's that going to cost you? A lot of money. You're not ready to do a flip. If you can walk in there and say, we're looking at $10,000 in the floors, $12,000 in the roof, because there's water damage. Replacing the floors, already said. The cabinets, you're talking about $5,000-6,000 in the cabinets, give or take. Appliances, refrigerators are in that $2,000, $3,000, depending on what you're looking for. What stage of this flip do we want to do? Do we want to go all in and make this absolutely beautiful top of the market, or is this a market where realistically they're not going to be buying that? The neighborhood's not going to support that, the area's not going to support that. So we want to come in baseline floor, just vinyl flooring, get the roof repaired, patched. We don't have to replace the whole roof. Faux wood cabinets, all those things. You can easily be talking about a difference of tens of thousands of dollars. You're coming in for a quick touch-up, lipstick flip. You're going to be looking for something that is somewhere in the neighborhood of $50,000 under market value, because you're going to be looking at those closing costs, and you're probably looking at $10,000 in cosmetic repairs. A full flip, if you're looking at a house that's going to take a lot of investment, minimum you're looking at there's somewhere in the neighborhood of $30,000, sometimes as much as $50,000. And that's not counting on things like electrical needing work, the plumbing needing work. Those are things you have to know. So you're going to want somebody with experience. A lot of times, if you're not doing the flip as just an independent person, or if it's your first or second one, what we'll recommend and what other people recommend is you get with a flipping group. With that, you are going to get less of your own money back, but you run a lot less risk. And what you're doing is you're going in there with somebody who does the repairs, who knows what these things are going to cost, and can go in there with a very educated view. tell you what the costs are going to be. You have other people investing in it. That's where the money comes from. You're putting your money in, they're putting their money in. You've got a crew of people who are going to be repairing it. You've got your realtors. You know the whole setup from start to finish, deadlines, all that. You know what you're looking at. That enables you to be a lot more educated and a lot more aware of what's going to be going into this. And that's probably the safest way to do one. If you're a handyman or you have your own crew, whatever the case may be, that's a good way to do a flip. Get in there under market value, get the work done at cost instead of at profit. Maybe you have family or somebody, whatever the case may be. The bottom line is it's got to be priced right. It's got to be the right market. You've got to be able to save money on doing the repairs and the rehabs, and you've got to get it sold quick. That's a flip. If that's not what you're looking at, it's not a flip. If it's something long-term or long-hold investment vehicle, that's not a flip. It's investment property. Still a great thing. Still something I'd love to talk to you about, but not a flip. I think that pretty much covers it. I rambled a little bit, but I think we got it all, and I think I can get it down under that, threshold. If you got any questions, by all means, let me know. This is now March, so I can't say next month. This video, I kind of look back at my calendar, but I believe the one I'm doing this one is ethics. If not, then that's next month. But regardless, I'm going to be doing a video on ethics. So we'll just do it this month. This month, video, ethics. All right. Have a good one. By all means, contact me if you have any questions. Even if you're not in my market, I'm happy to help. If you're in my market, of course, I'm going to help you. Have a great day.